Hussaini, let me tell you something.
I want to learn from you this morning.
We went to Jos at the first PDP convention that finally brought Olusegun Obasanjo as our candidate. Shehu Shagari had organized all the northern delegates and came into Jos to support Alex Ekwueme. And I'm happy that he's still alive. Ibrahim Babangida had to intervene and called all the northern leaders that if Alex Ekwueme was allowed to be president, it will make nonsense the coup they carried out that removed him and Shehu Shagari. That was why we lost the convention, the presidential primary in Jos. So we all went into, I think it was Jos Hilton Hotel or something, and most of us weeping. Is that what happened? And Shagari said he has done his best, that the military was still running the affairs, instructing people what to do in parts of the country. But most importantly, Hussaini, let me tell you something. There's a situation we find ourselves, and you start to ask, why is it that God brought all of us in this country? If we cannot explain why or ask any questions why God did that, I would have thought that in the end of the Civil War, now we have 6 component parts of this country. Gowon is still alive. Can the governors or the president, if they are sincere to themselves, if we are not a shred of investigative hypnosis, this is what I think is going on, can the 6 component zones in this country sit down, analyze properly, say what their different interests are, and then bring them to a common point where every group will try to harmonize for the better interests of this country? I still remember the Oputa Commission. There was nothing that needs to be said that was not said in the Oputa Commission up to today. No government has dared to take up any side of what he said for the betterment of this country. So it is difficult for me to begin to imagine whether we are really sincere as a people that we need one Nigeria. When the war ended, General Gowon said, no victor, no vanquished. But I don't know whether the meaning of that English, whether it still applies. Because the Southeast, principally in this country, whether anybody likes it or not, we are, neglected. We are not taken in as, people of one country because we fought a civil war. But statements like this from the Plateau governor also tells you that there are people who have varying views. We didn't start the war. I don't know how old you were by the time the crisis started in the north. That singular coup happened because the 3 regions were moving slightly apart. And the time I met with late Major General Hassan Usman Katsina, when he was Deputy Chief of Staff to General Way, he told me that they all supported the coup. That they all supported it too. The only thing that what happened was that after the coup, some elements in Kaduna, after Ahmadu Bello was killed, somebody else was killed in the west, and M.I. Okpara was not killed in the east. And I said, M.I. Okpara couldn't have been killed in the east because a head of state was visiting the east and was with M.I. Okpara, then the Archbishop Makarios of Cyprus. That was the only reason why that coup wasn't complete. And so it was difficult to convince people that it wasn't an Igbo coup. But honestly, people who were involved in that process will tell you no, that the military was just trying to save Nigeria from the governors, from the premiers who were moving slightly apart. And they didn't think it was going to be good for the overall interests of this country. So what I think we need now, if we are going to be sincere, not just people taking public office and sharing money, is for us to sit down, discuss the fate of this country, how we can move this country forward, and implement what we have discussed. It's one thing to discuss and arrive at some, principles of, discussion, and we are not able to implement it. Then it's useless wasting all the time talking about one Nigeria.